would like now to call in Gil's second spirit guide, known as Rogers. So Rogers, if you can come into Gil at this time, and just want to have a conversation, short conversation with you at this time. So when you're here, you can just let me know when you're ready.
Yes, I am here.
Awesome. So I just spoke with Marcy, the third spirit guide, and that was very successful. How are you at this time?
I am doing good for the most part.
Mm-hmm. And I remember last time you said you had sort of tasks laid out, and it seemed like you were busy. I was wondering if you could talk about your tasks, if you want to, like anything about the tasks that you're taking on.
I am here to support Gil's journey, and I am a spirit guide for a few different beings.
Mm-hmm.
I am here to make sure that everything goes well, and that the channeling is happening in a way where we can all work out and understand.
Amazing.
I am in charge of doing research, and I have that good skill in common with Gil.
Yes.
Maybe that is why I am one of his spirit guides.
That is probably why. Yeah, he does lots of research a lot of the time. He's very good at it. So that's a good match. Yeah. So are you interested in I was just talking with the other spirit guides about creating some sort of a manifestation in our physical perception or our senses. Is that something you have any knowledge about how to show some sort of a sign that, or some sort of energy that we can perceive with our senses in this room?
I can try to do something. I'm not sure how well it's gonna work.
Okay.
Maybe I will start off by trying out what Rogers did.
With the candle. Yeah. Just be careful. It's a little sharp on the top of the candle. There you go. Oh yeah.
No, it made it bigger. What?
I saw it go down for a moment, but yeah, it got bigger.
It's still testing.
Careful. Yeah. It's going down. It's going down. It's going down. It's really down now.
Come on.
I saw something flash before. Oh, it's getting bigger now.
I'm still trying to learn. Maybe I'll try another time.
Yeah. If you want, I can light this candle. It's less dangerous over here. Just light this for you real quick if you want to. It's smaller, so that might help if it's smaller. Here. If you want to try that, it's up to you.
Roger, this is better, maybe. Let's try again to build up energy.
Yes. Yeah, when Caleb did it, he did what you did, and then he put his hand down on it, and it went right out when he hit at the top. Just be careful with the wax there.
Try it one more time.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I need to try another time.
Yeah.
It's
That'd be
working
fine.
somewhat. Got smaller.
Yeah. Welcome to Beglodian Spirit Session, everybody. Tonight we're going to be summoning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different beings, or 5 different things, because there's some of them are groups and some of them are one person. All right. I'll give you a few 20 seconds to get ready for connection with spirits. Just kind of like zone into your state for spirit connection. Now get ready. I'm going to tell you who the first person is. There we go. So first, we're going to be talking to Caleb. The same Caleb that we talked to the other day. We're going to be inviting Caleb into the room. And Caleb will come. You can use Kill as a way to communicate at this time with me. And we have a few questions for Caleb. I have 5 different questions I will be asking. And the first question for Caleb is I really wanted to know if you could talk about or give us more details about your relationship with Gil.
Yes. I was once in a place to Gil. I was different. I stood out in the crowd. I had a mission. And now I am here to help someone else achieve a mission.
Awesome. So, could you tell me how many years ago were you alive as a human?
I was alive a long time ago, hundreds of years ago. I do not keep track anymore.
Yes, I can imagine. And what are your current activities right now besides us communicating?
I like to go and travel and view different people around the world. But I always go back and forth and will be coming back.
Wonderful. Are you excited to continue communicating like this through Gil?
I think it is good. I do not have emotions the same way as humans, though.
Could you describe how your emotions are compared to the human emotions?
I just do what is necessary and efficient. I do not really have much emotions.
And this is my last question for now. And are you planning to become a human again?
Maybe one day, if there is a great event that occurs. Otherwise, it will just be like this.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for coming to communicate. I appreciate it very much. And we can bring Gil back now. Welcome back, Gil. Gil, do you like coming back in between people, or do you think it would be better if I didn't call you back and just called the next person up? I'm not sure.
I don't know if it matters.
Okay. Next time we'll just
try
try
the other way if you want.
Yeah, it might be better that way to not have you come back until the end. Okay. The next person that we'll be inviting was the second spirit guide. The name was coming through was Roshers. That's the way you said it. The name of Roshers. So we're inviting whoever Roshers is, the spirit guide, to Gil. We're inviting you here to communicate through Gil. And I'm going to ask you about 5 questions. So if you can focus with us now. I just want to ask, who are you, Roshers? Rogers.
I am a spirit guide from the past. And I switch from being to being to help a mission and go and accomplish great things every time. And I visit different places and wait for the achievements and have tasks set out to help make sure everything is happening at the right times.
Gotcha. Thank you. And can you talk about your relationship with Gil?
I have been summoned for having some sort of similarities that are not that clear.
Okay. So could you talk about, we already did sort of talk about this, but could you talk about more your activities going on right now besides Gil? Are you doing anything else?
I am also going to other people while Gil is sleeping and making sure that they're good also.
Awesome. Would you like to be channeled by Gil on a regular basis?
I think once in a while is good.
Okay. And now, Gil thinks he has 3 spirit guides. I was wondering if you could talk about the 3rd spirit guide that seemed blurry to Gil when he was trying to get their information. Could you talk about the 3rd spirit guide?
The 3rd spirit guide is still partly blurry, but is something with an M. trying to see, but it is taking time still.
Okay. I appreciate everything. Thank you for coming and talking. And we'll talk to you another time soon. Thank you. And now I will call on another being at this time. And the name of this consciousness is Saint Germain. We'll be inviting Saint Germain into this room, into our consciousness now. We're calling on Saint Germain. He was channeled by Jeffrey Hope. And Saint Germain, I have a question for you. Do you have a message for the whole world at this time? And we will put this on the internet.
Yes. There are 66 problems, but then there are 67. But it does not matter because a problem for one person isn't a problem for another, and there are many solutions.
Okay, thank you. And are you able to help Gil in any way with his channeling ability?
It is better to summon spirits that have more things related to Gil.
Okay, that makes sense. And could you just talk a little bit about yourself and your current activities?
I have just been going around watching over and going from cloud to cloud, person to person, day after day. Nothing much to see.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. And we will now go to another being, or another group. And the name of this group is Abraham. And this is the same Abraham group that we spoke to the other day. And they said there was 4 of them. So we wanted to talk to that group named Abraham. So Abraham, you can now come into Gil, and Gil will channel for you. And I have 3 interesting questions. First question for Abraham is, can you talk a little bit about your dimension?
Yes, we come from a dimension far, far away, where nothing is the same, where technology is better, where spirits arrive and go.
Cool. And what do you do? What do you guys do?
We are like keepers of dimensions.
Okay. And I have a third question. I'm not sure if you can do this, but is it possible for you to manifest in this room so that we can perceive you with our physical senses?
It is very difficult to do this. We can try, but we do not know if it will work.
Okay. I feel something a little different. I'm not sure if that's you or not.
We have sent a signal.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think I felt something, but I'm not sure. But I appreciate it so much. Thank you. And we will now talk to another being. And this being his name is Bashar. And this being is from outer space, and he is in another time, from what I know. His name is Bashar. And I'm just going to ask briefly that Gil just take a look at this picture. This is what you want to picture in your mind so that you can summon Bashar. So just hold that image in your mind, the black square, the black triangle, and the blue outline. Just hold that in your mind. And we're now calling on Bashar to come. And we want to talk to Bashar, if you could communicate with us, Bashar, through Gil. So you can connect to Gil and you can communicate. And I have 2 questions for Bashar today. And Bashar, if you could let me know when you're ready to begin.
Ready.
Awesome. Can you talk about your dimension and your experience of time?
Time is relative to us. Every reality has different time, but it is just a thing that is used for the less technologically advanced. We do not need time to function. We can choose our time.
Cool. And can you see us in this room right now where me and Gil are? Can you see us? And can you also scan our vibrations?
Yes. You can scan it.
And can you just talk about, just up from your perspective, just talk about our general vibrations?
These vibrations are very good. They seem to be more than the average human.
Awesome. I just want to thank you for communicating with us at this time, and I'm wondering if at some point in the future could we see you in the sky or somewhere at some point.
Yes. We pass by in the nights.
Awesome. And so you remain invisible for the most part, correct?
Yes.
And how does that work? Are you passing through different levels or dimensions in order to become visible, and then you go back to your dimension?
And we can go faster than the average being can see.
Gotcha.
But sometimes we slow down and blink lights.
All right. And my last question, do you have any specific message for both me and Gil at this time?
Keep on doing what you are doing, and greatness will arrive.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. And we can bring Gil back now. Welcome back, Gil. Slap yourself in the face a little bit.
Aye.
There you go. Alright, you're back. How was it?
I was closing my eyes for so long, it feels weird.
That was really interesting. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Congratulations. Alright,
That's
we'll
all
end the
right.
recording. Thanks for watching, everybody. We're asking that Caleb, one of Gil's spirit guides, to come and focus with us today at this time. And you can come into Gil now, and you can use Gil to communicate, as always. And I have an interesting question for you, Caleb. And I want to ask, do you have any life lessons that are relevant to share with us at this time?
Yes, it is important to always be trying things and making mistakes and getting better. It is also important to not focus on what you did wrong. It is good to focus on what you did right and to learn from what you did wrong and to improve it.
That's awesome. Thank you. And do you have any relationship advice about making relationships stronger in general?
Well, there are 4 quadrants of relationship. There is 4 factors that determine how close any relationship is. One is how much you connect with the person, how intense it is. Another one is how often you have how often you are able to see the person or connect to the person. The third one is how far away you are from the person. And I'm blanking out on the 4th one for some reason.
Okay. Could you try and resend the 4th one again to Gil?
Okay. The first one is how far away you are. Wait, it doesn't really matter the order. One of them is how far away you are. One of them is how intense it is, or how much you connect. The third one is how long the interaction is. And the 4th is how often. Yeah, those are the 4.
Thank you. Those are really good. I like those. And I have another question. This is an interesting one to me. Why does Gil keep saying the word I? He spelled it EHY, and he's been saying it often in the past, I think, few days, maybe 2 days. I'm just curious.
He spelled it I, like I caramba.
Oh, okay.
And I means that he is not 100% confident yet with his spirits. And his spirits want him to say I, just the letter I instead of I.
Okay. All right. I'll tell him that. Thank you. And I have a question about how do you experience things? Do you have a spirit body, or are you sort of like omnipresent? You don't really have a specific location.
We have multiple locations that we rotate from.
Interesting. Okay, this is a question regarding something that Gil was supposed to receive in the mail recently. He was supposed to receive a money spending card in the mail, and we think it may have gone missing or lost. And I was wondering if you could possibly help us figure out where it might be at this time. He was just looking it up on the internet before we started here.
There must have been a mistake delivering it.
So it may have been delivered at a wrong address, you think?
It's either delivered at the wrong address or it was never sent.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that. And my last question is a very interesting one. I wanted to ask, are you able to manifest yourself in some way to our physical senses in this room at this time?
I can try.
And what do you think it would look like if we were to perceive you?
It is hard to know. It will take time.
Okay. And you can just let me know when you think you're going to, when we can start perceiving it here.
I feel static. It's hard to know if it is working.
And what do you do when you try to manifest? Do you build up energy in order to show up somehow, or how does that work?
I'm building energy throughout the area, and it is difficult to build up enough.
Right. Is there any way that I can help with that at all?
It is hard to know for sure.
Okay. We can communicate another time then if you want to go back to what you were doing, or if you want to keep trying to manifest. Which would you like to? Which would you prefer to do at this time?
I'll try again another time.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for coming. And now I'm going to talk to Albert Einstein. So we would like Albert Einstein to come over to Gil here. And you can use Gil as your vehicle of communication today. And I will be asking you questions through Gil. And I have an interesting question here for the first part. And that is, if you have any new teachings for us at this time, could you talk about them? And by us, I mean us two in this room and also the world.
Everything is a relevant term. Nothing is what it is seems like. One person will view it in one way, another will view it in another way. It is up to you to decide what is best and how to be most productive with it. Most people, they will just listen to what others say, but you should determine what you want for yourself and how you view things.
Awesome. And could you talk about your theory of everything from your perspective now?
Everything is connected. Everything happens for some reason that people do not know, but it is in a way where it helps something else in this world.
And I just have a general question. How can we increase our intelligence?
You must focus on one thing until success. You must not be trying to do many things at once like most people. You must just focus on one specific subject as your main focus.
And that's because we would gain momentum on that subject, and then we would kind of like get more information from it. And then
if you master one thing, then you can master another one easier. Most people never are masters at anything. They're just good at things. They don't master things.
Okay, that is all for you, Einstein. Thank you so much for communicating today. Thank you. And now, I'd like to call on the spirit of Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan, the martial artist that lived a short time ago. I'd like to invite the spirit of Jackie Chan into this room. And if you'd like to do so, you can communicate through Gil at this time. And I have 3 questions for you, Jackie Chan. Thank you for coming. And do you have a message for the world at this time that you want to tell?
Yes. People must be stronger. They must be able to defend themselves. They must not let other people overcome them and decide what they should do. You gotta fight for yourselves and to be independent.
Cool. And are you able to show us or demonstrate some of your moves using Gil's body at this time? I'm curious.
It is difficult, but I can try.
Okay.
I can try an uppercut. It is difficult.
Yes. Is that because you're not used to using Gil as a channel?
I think so.
Okay. We can do that another time if you like. I have one more question. Do you have any teachings that humans would benefit from at this time?
You must do what is right and fight for what is right, because other people will try to stomp on you, and you must be able to defeat the enemies.
Yeah, I feel your energy. That's really powerful. It's the strength. I feel it. Thank you for coming today. Thank you. And now I'd like to call upon the group known as Abraham that we have spoken to yesterday and the day before. I'd like to call upon the Abraham group, the one that is familiar with Gil, and I'd like to invite them to communicate through Gil at this time. And I have some questions for Abraham this time. So, Abraham, could you talk a little bit more about the specifics of your technology in your dimension?
Our technology is very advanced. We are able to outrun most of the other dimensions in this millennium. We are able to go and teleport from place to place and view all of the other beings.
And I have another question. Have I myself or have Gil interacted with your dimension before?
You can sometimes appear there in a dream, but then it's hard to remember, and it will be very short.
Because I kind of feel like I have had a strange dream where I went to this other place, and it seemed familiar when I went there. And it was kind of a really vast space, and there were these kind of like shapes. I'm not sure if that was your dimension or if you could see what I'm seeing, and kind of help me answer where that was.
It was an alternative reality. We do not always give specifics.
Okay. And why is it that you do not give specifics sometimes?
Because we have to keep ourselves secrets. Because there are millions of other dimensions out there with people who want to take over.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you for doing that. Appreciate it. And I have another question. What kind of feeling or emotion do you experience in your dimension? What is it like to be in your dimension?
Our dimension is very strong, but it is almost like we have to make sure that no one else destroys the universe. The best way to explain it is like we are like the United States of the Earth, except we are the dimension that is like the biggest and strongest army dimension of the universe.
That's a good analogy. And this is my last question. How often do you focus towards our world and the planet Earth and the people?
We visit once every 1,000 steps on our mission.
Cool. All right, thank you for communicating at this time. I appreciate it as always. And we will move on to the next being. So now we'd like to communicate with Moses. And this is the Moses that was written about in the Bible. And he was alive many years ago. We want to communicate with Moses at this time. This is the same Moses that we heard that he had received the Ten Commandments. We wish to speak with this Moses at this time. And we can use Gil as a way for Moses to communicate with me at this time. So Moses, if you're here, I have a question for you. Do you have a message for the world at this time?
As the sea split, I knew that there was something out there. Something above our greatest imaginations. Something that is above us, controlling the universe. And this is still happening today.
Thank you. And could you speak about your experience when you received the Ten Commandments on Mount Sinai?
It was a very insane day. A month or weeks passed by as I was up on Mount Sinai getting all of them. It was like something you could never experience, but I am not able to give all the specifics.
Okay. Thank you. And I was going to ask, did you part the sea? But I already know that you spoke about that right at the beginning, so I won't ask that question. I want to ask about another time. What happened when God spoke to you at the burning bush? What was going on?
I was just there. I was near a farm with sheep, just going about my everyday business, when all of a sudden I got a message from the burning bush that I have been chosen to lead these people out of Egypt and to go on to a whole new world. And I did not feel ready, but it happened anyway.
Amazing. So, is what happened to you similar to how you're communicating with Gil at this time? Is it a similar thing?
Yes.
Awesome.
There are people out there who have a mission, and they might not feel ready. And they're gonna feel scared to do what they're set to do, but they must do it. They must do it even if they are scared, because being brave is not about not being scared. It is about being scared but doing it anyway.
That's a good message. Thank you. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you for coming, Moses. I appreciate it. And we have one last person I'd like to bring through now. And his name is Abraham Lincoln. We'd like to talk to Abraham Lincoln for a little bit now. So Abraham Lincoln, if you can come here and focus with us, and you can talk through Gil. You can use Gil as a way to communicate with me. And I just have a few questions for Abraham Lincoln. So, Abraham Lincoln, do you have a message for our country at this time?
Yes. We are in a good spot. We are still one of the best countries that will ever exist, if not the best country. And we are a superpower of the nations. Even if our presidents are not always honest, we will still be great.
Yes, I agree with that. Thank you. And I have a question. What do you think, or who do you think, will win this upcoming election that's happening on November 3rd this year?
I think it's the better talker, better speaker usually wins. I will let you decide who's the better speaker.
Thank you. Smart. That's a smart way to do it. Thank you, Abraham Lincoln. And I have one more question for you, real quick. Have you reincarnated at all since you were last known as Abraham Lincoln?
Not really. In other dimensions, I have.
Cool. All right. Well, I appreciate it, Abraham. It was great speaking to you. I'm honored to speak to you. Thank you.
Good to speak to you too.
Awesome. We'll probably speak to you again at another time. Thank you. All right. We can bring Gil back now. Oh my God. Oh my God, Gil. This is so amazing.
Oh.
He was channeled by Jane Roberts. This is Seth. I'm bringing Seth in. And Seth, when you're here, you can just let me know.
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. And it's still okay to channel you on Tuesdays, right?
Yes.
Okay. I had a question about that. Why is it that you prefer to be here only on Tuesdays?
I have a very busy schedule. I have been summoned so much. I am in charge of many things.
Mm-hmm.
I am not sure how much I should say, but I am up on top of the spirits.
Interesting. Interesting. So, I was talking to Gil's spirit guides just a moment ago, and they were trying to extinguish a candle that I have on this table in this room. I was wondering, you don't have to try it now, but unless you want to, but I was wondering if you had experience with that kind of sorcery where you could kind of make the flame go out on its own without directly touching it.
Yes, I've had a lot of experience, but I do not have the adjustments of Gil yet. It is different when I am summoned by others.
Mm-hmm.
Every time there are certain things that change.
Right.
So it takes time.
Okay. And what about your... How easy would it be for you to manifest your energy in a physical space where it would be perceivable by human senses?
I have done it before, but it has to be very small things. I am not allowed to do bigger things, and it takes time to learn in each being that I am summoned by.
Right. So if we wanted to do something like that at some point, what should we do? What would be our plan of action to prepare for that?
It is not the best for me to do this.
Okay.
I have too much to do, and I'm not summoned enough.
Right. Gotcha. I have a question about the coronavirus that's going on around the world right now. Um, are you able to see into the future, and can you kind of gauge how long will the current coronavirus that's spreading a lot around the world right now? How long do you think that will be around here in terms of years?
I am not allowed to say. It is happening for a good reason, and it will not affect the super long term. It is happening just for a short time on the timeline for spirits. It may feel long for humans, but it will not be that long and not that bad.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask a personal question. Is it possible that you could see if I ever came in contact with this virus known as the coronavirus that's spreading around the world? Has it entered my system yet?
That is not something that I specialize in, and this is not a good topic.
Mm-hmm.
It is restricted by spirits.
Okay.
To discuss about certain types of things.
That makes sense. And a lot of those restrictions in place to keep us from getting certain knowledge that could make things go out of balance if we were to know them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain things that just can't be released right now for reasons that have been discussed among the higher spirits.
Mm-hmm. And I want to talk about conspiracies and conspiracy theories, and whatever nature of those things, whatever the nature of the conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy theories?
Yes. And
they are sometimes created by other beings, and humans pick up on the energy. They are slightly true, but also altered by the human's perception.
Mm-hmm.
They come and go.
Mm-hmm. And is it possible then, would it ever be possible to prove like one conspiracy theory or another to be true, or would it always be kind of up in the air, no matter how deep you go?
It can be proven to some extent, but is not always 100% true. It is usually partly true. Some are more true than others.
Mm.
And there's some things that are true or not true that humans can see. But the most of the people hear it and forget about it and not learn enough to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some human will be able to understand it very well. People are better than others.
Mm. Interesting. And I have another question, and this is kind of not related to that topic anymore. I want to talk about visualization and what's happening when I visualize something in my mind that doesn't have to do with anything like locally in this on the earth, if I'm just visualizing something and it kind of resembles something that I want in the future on the earth, but it's not in any particular location, what am I experiencing when I see that image?
You may be experiencing an insight to the future from the past, or it might be a message from a being from another universe.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. What kind? Is it possible for a human to create some sort of spiritual manifestation of energy where it can be seen visually or caught on camera using the body's energy system? Can a human do that?
Yes, but it is difficult and only certain humans can do it and only at certain extents. And it is not supposed to be revealed to be completely out, and I cannot discuss too much about this.
Okay. What dimension do you exist in primarily? What would you give a name to it? How could you describe it?
It does not really have to have a name, but I can explain it. It is a dimension where all of the spirits are coming and going, and they communicate there and get trained there, and that's our home base.
And is there anything resembling the human's physical environment, anything like that, or is it totally different?
We have a quadrant that deals with humans and Earth. I am one of the spirits who are in charge of that quadrant.
Fascinating. And what is the best time of the day, do you think? What would be the best time of the day to channel, for Gil to do his channeling?
He should do the channeling either in the morning or at night.
Okay.
It is best to not do it in the middle of the day when he is busiest and has a lot of stuff. It's easier to clear your mind after or before sleeping.
Right. That makes sense. Okay. I think that's all for now, Seth. So I just want to thank you for coming through and communicating as always. And I will most likely contact you again next Tuesday.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We'll bring Gil back now. Gil can come back to his body, become fully aware. Welcome back,
Gil. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, just check your hands for a second. Make sure they're okay.
What?
Because there was a lot of sorcery done tonight. And
it felt like I got.
And the spirit was doing it on this candle, which is like really sharp and stuff.
Oh, I feel okay.
Yeah, I think you're fine.
At one point, I felt like there was like some fire or wax on me, but it didn't hurt for some reason. It was really weird, and I don't see it.
That's because the spirit was in charge. So you wouldn't feel the pain anyway. But yeah, your hand, or I forget who was doing it. Oh yeah, Rogers was trying the sorcery, because and then we